Hello, this is Geotech and today I'm going to be talking about elementaryos 6, Odin, which was just recently released. I'm also going to be basing this off their official blog post on the elementaryos website, but I'll also include some snippets of me testing it on a virtual machine using GNOME boxes. The big theme of this update is that it gives the user more options when it comes to the look and feel and just general customization of this OS. They've added an official dark mode and updated their light theme. And they're also giving users the option to choose their own accent colors. It even gives you the option when you're first booting up elementaryos for the first time. Here you can see the light theme, which has a now more pearl white look. And although it is a little bit more blinding because it's a little bit brighter, as long as you adjust the brightness setting at the right level, I think it's just a more pleasant looking light theme. Although me personally, I'm gonna stick to their dark theme. Another change is the apps that are installed by default, created by the elementary team themselves usually, are gonna be installed as Flatpaks. This sandbox environment provides extra security protections. And of course, this is gonna allow users to get the most up-to-date versions of these apps. Otherwise, to install a third-party app from FlatHub, you actually have to go to the flathub.org website, hit install, and get this little warning message. I actually prefer PopOS's approach where they include the FlatHub apps on their app store. I feel like the FlatHub apps are already somewhat curated, even if they're not officially curated by the elementary team. I feel like they're relatively safe, and I feel like this sort of sideload warning message, I feel like that can kind of throw users off. Another feature is multi-touch support. So if you're working with elementaryos on a laptop, it makes it much easier to navigate around with just a touchpad. It can save you a few extra clicks and just give you a fairly good experience. They've made some changes to the notifications system, and actually you can use a swipe gesture on a trackpad to swipe away notifications. So that's pretty cool. Then the rest of these updates are mostly updates to their apps like tasks, some firmware updates, and then updates to their default web browser, which has been updated and renamed and is of course now distributed as a Flatpak. On some Linux hardware, they've added splash screens like this Star Labs boot screen, which is pretty awesome that they're working with like all these other hardware manufacturers on giving Linux users a very top-notch experience here. I'll leave a link in the description below to this official blog post here. And for those that are curious about which Linux kernel is installed, you get 5.11.0. And then for you gamers out there, the Mesa version is 21.0.3. One other downside is that it doesn't include fractional scaling by default. So generally, if you use a monitor or laptop that has a resolution of higher than 1080p, usually that's where you may run into an issue where certain things look too tiny. So that's one other thing of note that's not available, at least by default. Of course, with Linux, there's likely ways around it, but that's just one thing to note there. With the big theme on this update being about giving the user options, me personally, I would like to see them offer options when it comes to the layout. A lot of other OSs are implementing apps that let you choose which kind of layout you want, like if you want a Mac OS, Windows 10, or vanilla GNOME type of layout. And I feel like that's something that elementaryos should have, especially if they're giving users the choice between switching to dark theme and giving them accent color options. I feel like it's kind of like a no-brainer to include a layout switcher and further give the user more control and customization. One thing I like about Deepin, for example, is that just like the choice between choosing different accent colors, they include by default the ability to choose different icon sets. They don't have to include a bunch, but they include like a good handful of different icons. And I feel like that's something that not just elementary, but almost every OS should add, But let me know your thoughts. Do you like the new changes on elementaryos 6? Or is there something missing for you here? Let me know what you think, and if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. If you're enjoying my video, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, PeerTube, follow me on Odyssey. You could also support me on LiberaPay, Patreon, and by shopping at Earth Hero. See links in the description below.